Hello everyone, my name is Victoria Fachin Herman. It's my pleasure to be here, even in format form. I'm very happy that UCDA has gone online with everything that's going on just to give us the opportunity to share and learn. So today for my poster project, I'm going to talk about how my group and I use sensory design principles to propose a redesign of an existing space here in Ames, Iowa. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoy. Alright, so here we have the poster. So this is a sensory design analysis and proposal of Café Diem in Ames, Iowa. So this is an existing cafe here in Ames, and we analyzed it and proposed a redesign. So I'll walk you through that process. So this project was part of an interior design course that focused on sensory design to develop spaces. Design that focuses on all the senses has many positive effects. It celebrates qualities of place and enhances brand interaction. For this project, groups were tasked with picking an existing store or restaurant in Ames, Iowa, to analyze through the use of sensory sliders proposed by Molnar and Vadvarka in 2004. So this is the method we use to analyze the space and then to propose the changes based on that analysis of the underrepresented senses. Molnar and Vadvarka proposed this sensory slider. In their book, it's a little bit more in depth, but for the purpose of this project, we use a simplified version of it, using visual, auditory, haptic, smell and taste, and basic orienting senses. So visual would be divided between figure and ground. So how are the elements in the space organized? Can you see the greater picture, the ground, or do you focus on smaller aspects of it? Auditory, is it noisy? Is it quiet? Haptic is divided in a couple different aspects, but for the purpose of this project, we use the Haptic 3 and 4 that they list in their book. So Haptic 3 talks about compression and expansion of space. So is the space built to make you feel like you're in a big area, or do you feel compressed? Do you feel tightened by the space? Haptic 4 would be a temperature. Do you feel that the temperature is very focused in specific areas, or is more of a general temperature? Smell and taste, we focus more on the smell side of things. Do you sense a smell as you enter and as you walk through the space, or do you sense more of a general ambiance smell? And lastly, how does the consumer navigate through the space? Is it intuitive? Is it programmed by the space itself? How can you help people orient themselves within the space? This is the current design of Café Diem. I'm going to pull here a little key so we can navigate through the maps of the space that we created. So we have temperature, noise, and smell. So this would be noisy and calm, and smell that is more noticeable. Okay, so this is the current design of the space. This is their current brand. As a graphic designer myself, this is a lot of what I focused on. They have this handwritten quality, colors of coffee. They have embellishments that are very small for the logo itself, and it's kind of an emblem. For the space itself, we have the entrance over here, and we have a couple differences in temperature right away. This area, it's located closer to the street, therefore it's colder, even though this one is similar. It is more of an open area, so the warmth gets over there. And then we also have a couple different warm and cold areas, which is very much related to the material choices. And a lot of the smell is concentrated in this area, because this area on the bottom left side is the kitchen, and the point of sale is where they make the coffee drinks. So a lot of the smell is concentrated in that spot. So this is the slider as we analyze the space. Currently, a lot of the focus is on figure. There's a lot of different textures that makes you focus on specific elements. It's quite noisy, and I'll go deeper into what interior design elements have helped for the noisiness. And the place feels very small, especially because of the choice of textures, and I'll talk a little bit later the degree, how we can feel all these different temperatures in the different places within the space, and how the smell is very ambiance, and also how people are programmed to walk from one place to another without being super intuitive. So here are a couple pictures of the current space. So we have hard and cold materials. We have a lot of metal as well as hard wood. These here on the right are the only padded seating available. Everything else is hard wood. So it creates a very loud environment because the sound is being bounced, and therefore comfort is diminished. The different textures, as we can see on the wall, we have wood and metal textures, we have just paint, we have subway tile, and also some exposed brick. It enhances that figure aspect of the visual senses. So you focus on the wall, then you focus on the back. It doesn't create a cohesive system. There's also visual clutter and lack of unity. So there's a lot of different textures as mentioned before, and also different signage used throughout that could be unified and create a more cohesive brand experience. Lastly, there's a lot of light glare. As you can see in all these pictures, all the different lighting fixtures that are within the space, it creates a lot of glare that is very distracting and takes away from the atmosphere and the comfort of being in this space. So taking these characteristics into consideration, we developed the following proposal. Created a logo that still has that emblem feel, still has established, and creates a friendly and comfortable atmosphere. The colors we chose to focus on represent some of the drinks served of tea and coffee. And having a logo, you have a little bit more versatility when it comes to applying the brand to the different products and touch points within the store. So this is our redesigned area. We would still like to keep a figure as opposed to ground visual interest, especially because it is an enclosed space. We want it to become more quiet because we analyzed that the people that came to the space were students a lot of the time and were studying or having meetings, so you need the place to have a little bit more control of noise. We wanted to still be a little bit compressed but not make you feel claustrophobic, so have a little bit more unity within the textures on the walls and ceiling. Also, we wanted to have the temperature be more evened out and the smell to be ambiance, but also within the different spaces, and create an orientation that's a little bit more intuitive, and so people would not feel lost within the space. So this is the new branding. So keeping with the handwritten quality without going full lettering, we still wanted to keep some structure with a highly contrasted typeface. We added more color and more movement, as well as we're having just the logo. You can play around with the different applications of it. The point of sale was changed, having a more unified signage, still have different textures, but keeping them with a more cohesive color palette. Also looking at the art that's put on the walls to have a focus on that, because that's a great part of this space within the Ames community is how they support local artists to show their art. Here on the bottom left, we developed a lounge area for casual meetings and opened up the space more so to have more natural light come in from the outside, as well as having that pop of color within the warm space. And this would be a closed off study area, not completely closed off because this panel here has little windows, but it also works as a community board to share events that are happening downtown. And this panel would also work with controlling the lighting that's coming from the other areas, which would be, this would be right behind it, and the sound of people coming in and out. Use of the sliders really helped us take a look at the big picture of our project and guided us through our solutions. I do believe that looking at sensory design for redesigning a space can create a very impactful brand experience. Thank you.